My name is Mira. I was born in a small village far from the city. My world was simple, just me and my mother. Our house was small but full of love. Every night my mother told me stories before I slept. She always said, "Mira, no matter what happens, never stop believing in God." Her words lived in my heart. I thought love could protect us forever, but life doesn't always go the way we dream. One cold season, my mother became sick. I tried everything to help her. I cooked for her, prayed for her, stayed awake all night watching her breathe. But every day she became weaker. One morning the sky was gray and quiet. I held her hand and cried, "Please don't leave me, Mama." She looked at me and whispered softly, "Don't be afraid, my child. God never leaves you." Then she closed her eyes and never opened them again. I felt my whole world break. I shouted her name, but only silence answered me. That day, half of my heart died. The house became empty. Even the sun outside looked cold. I couldn't eat, couldn't smile, couldn't speak. Days passed, but the pain didn't go away. I sat beside her chair, touching her scarf, remembering her voice. At night, I looked at the sky and whispered, "God, are you still there?" But no one answered. I felt forgotten. By the world, by people, and even by God. Every evening I walked to the river and sat alone. The sunset was beautiful but sad. I watched the colors fade and cried until my eyes burned. I didn't know how to live anymore. One evening I saw an old woman walking toward me. She held a small candle in her hand. The flame moved softly in the wind. She looked at me and said, "Why are you crying, my child?" I said, "Because I lost everything. I lost my mother. I lost my faith. I lost myself." She smiled kindly and said, "God never leaves you. The night is long, yes, but the morning always comes." Then she placed the candle in my hand and said, "When you feel lost, light this candle. Even a small flame can fight the darkness." When I looked up to thank her, she was gone. The road was empty. That night, I lit the candle in my house. The soft light filled the room and touched my mother's photo. I cried again, but this time my tears were calm. I whispered, "Maybe you are still here, God." Since that day, I began to change. I cleaned the house. I helped my old neighbor. I smiled again. One morning, I watched the sun rise over the hills. I felt the light on my face and whispered, "Mama, the morning came. I believe again." After my mother died, I thought my story was over. But now I know it was only beginning. The candle the old woman gave me became my small friend. Every night I lit it and prayed. At first my voice was weak, but slowly my words grew stronger. I began to wake up early. I opened the door to let the morning light in. I cleaned the yard, washed my clothes, cooked a little food. Simple things, but they gave me peace. I started to believe that even small actions could heal a broken heart. One day I heard my neighbor coughing outside. She was old and alone. I helped her carry water and clean her house. She looked at me with tired eyes and said, "You are kind, Mira. God bless you." That moment, something warm moved inside me. Helping others made my pain softer. I began to help more people. Children, widows, anyone who needed a hand. Some people started calling me the girl with the candle. They said my smile made them feel calm. I didn't realize it, but my light was already shining. Months passed. I worked in the small market selling bread and tea. The money was not much, but I felt proud. Every evening, I walked home with tired hands and a peaceful heart. The candle still burned on my table. Its flame reminded me that God never forgot me. He was simply teaching me to see. One afternoon, heavy rain started while I was at the market. Everyone ran for cover, but I stayed outside, letting the rain wash my face. I felt alive again. I whispered, "Mama, I can feel life again." A man who worked nearby smiled at me. His name was Daniel. He often helped me carry things home. He spoke kindly and never asked too many questions. One evening, he said, "You always smile even when you're tired. How do you do it?" I said, "Because pain taught me how to be grateful." We became friends. We walked together by the river where I once cried alone. Now that same river looked beautiful again, full of light and sound. Years later, I built a small house not far from where I grew up. I planted flowers around it and shared bread with anyone who came to visit. I was not rich, but my heart was. I had peace, I had purpose, and I had faith. Sometimes I still cry when I remember my mother. But my tears are gentle now. I look at the candle, still burning after all these years, and I whisper, "Thank you, God, for never leaving me." I finally understand. The night does not last forever. Pain is not the end. Faith turns tears into strength, and love makes every darkness bright again. This is my story, a story of pain, loss, and light. I learned that life does not always stay kind. People we love can leave. Dreams can break. Hearts can fall apart. But I also learned something greater, that even in darkness, there is still God. There were nights when I cried until my heart felt empty. I thought no one could hear me. I thought God had forgotten me. But I was wrong. He was there, in silence, in pain, in every breath I took. He was waiting for me to stand again. If you are sad now, if you feel lost, please listen to me. Don't give up. Don't think it's the end. Pain is not your enemy. It's the beginning of your strength. One day you will look back and understand why things happened the way they did. You will see how God turned your tears into light. When my mother died, I thought I would never smile again. But now I smile with peace. When I had nothing, I found faith. And when I felt forgotten, I found purpose. So if your heart hurts tonight, hold on. Talk to God. Even if your voice is shaking, talk to Him. He listens. He understands what words cannot say. You are not weak because you cry. You are not broken because you feel pain. You are human, and that means you can rise again. Decide to live. Decide to forgive. Decide to walk again, even with tears in your eyes. Because one small step can lead you to a brighter morning. The candle that the old woman gave me still burns. Its flame is small, but it never dies, and just like faith. And I believe your candle will burn too. So my friend, whatever your pain is, turn it into power. Don't stop believing. Don't stop trying. God has not forgotten you. Life is not perfect, but it is beautiful when you walk with faith. The night is long, yes, but the morning always comes.